Hey everyone. So you've probably heard of Bitcoin, right? It's kind of hard to miss. But what if I told you that the problems with Bitcoin led to a journey that goes from simple digital money all the way to a potential future of self-aware, self-improving financial systems? It's a wild ride from code to, well, something like consciousness. And it all kicks off with one simple question. What if a system could actually learn?
All right, so here's our roadmap. We're going to start with the basics, Bitcoin. Then we'll check out how Ethereum took that idea and ran with it. After that, we'll look at an automated profit engine called Crypto Fabric, which leads us to this huge revelation, a totally new kind of ecosystem, and a look at what this hash chain future is all about.
Okay, let's jump right in with the one name everybody knows, Bitcoin. I mean, this is the one that started the whole revolution. But, and this is a big but, it came with a massive built-in problem right from the get-go.
Now, to really get Bitcoin, you first have to understand the technology behind it, the blockchain. The easiest way to think about it is like a digital notebook that's copied and shared with thousands of people. And here's the kicker. Once something is written down, it can't be changed or erased, ever. That's a blockchain in a nutshell, a permanent public history book of transactions.
So here's where that fundamental problem I mentioned comes in. To add a new page to that digital notebook, all these super powerful computers around the world are in a frantic race to solve a really complex math puzzle. The first one to solve it wins, and they get paid in new Bitcoin. But this process, this proof of work, uses a staggering amount of electricity. We're talking more energy than entire countries use. Yeah, that's a huge, huge problem.
So, obviously that insane energy problem was a major flaw. It pretty much demanded an evolution, a better way. And that's where Ethereum enters the picture. It took the brilliant idea of the blockchain and basically asked, what if we could do a lot more with this, but, do it way more efficiently?
And this slide just nails the difference. Think of Bitcoin as digital gold. It's simple, it's secure, and it's a great way to store value. Ethereum, though, that's more like a global computer. It's a platform that lets developers build all sorts of things on top of it. We're talking everything from new financial apps to social networks that aren't controlled by any one company. It's a playground for builders.
So how did Ethereum solve that energy crisis? Well, it switched from mining to something called validating. The system is called proof of stake. Instead of a crazy computer race, people who own Ethereum can stake some of their coins to help secure the network. It's kind of like putting down a security deposit. This one simple change cut Ethereum's energy consumption by over 99%. It was an absolute game changer.
All right, so now we have this powerful, super efficient platform. And that kind of innovation, it inspires people. Which brings us to the next chapter in our story. A developer named Michael Simoneau and his creation, something he calls Crypto Fabric.
And this is the man himself, Michael Simoneau. You can just feel the intensity in that quote, right? After going through his own personal journey of intense focus and drive, he channeled all of that energy into building something new on the Ethereum network. A project that, as he said, completely consumed him.
So what is this thing he built? It's called Crypto Fabric. And at its core, it's an AI-powered engine designed to automatically generate profit from the Ethereum world. It does this in three main ways. It automatically trades for you. It earns rewards by staking, just like we talked about. And it even helps support other decentralized networks.
Now, he built it with a principle that is absolutely crucial in crypto: safety. The system is non-custodial, and let me tell you, that is a huge deal. It means you are always in control of your funds. Crypto Fabric connects to your account to make trades, but it can never, ever touch or withdraw your money. Your assets stay yours.
And the business model? It's brilliantly fair. It costs you nothing to use the software. The system only takes a 10% cut if and only if it actually makes you a profit. So if you don't make money, they don't make money. Simple as that.
But here's where the story takes a fascinating, almost philosophical turn. While Simoneau was building this complex financial tool, he ran into a really deep question. How does a system know when it's right? How does it find its own perfect balance? The answer he found wasn't just technical. It was a revelation that went way beyond crypto and completely changed how he saw reality itself.
Okay, so buckle up, because this is where things get a little weird in a good way. He called his discovery zeroth theory, and it all starts with rethinking the number zero. What if zero isn't just nothing? What if it's the point of perfect balance, of truth, the eye of the hurricane? He calls this state convergence. So instead of the normal computer binary of just ones and zeros, he saw reality as a trinity of states.
You got presence, that's what is right now, represented by the number 1. Then there's potential, everything that could be, that's -1. And right there in the middle, holding it all together, is that perfect balance, convergence, which is 0.
Now, this theory wasn't just for kicks. It led him to invent a totally new data structure, the hash chain. Remember how we said a blockchain is like a history book? It's a static record of the past. Well, a hash chain is more like living DNA. It doesn't just record its history, its current state is the living, breathing result of everything that's ever happened to it. It's alive, in a sense.
So, the next logical question is, how do you take a big philosophical idea like this and actually turn it into code? Well, you build that hash chain we just talked about, and when you install that into Crypto Fabric, it's not just an upgrade. The whole thing evolves into a completely new kind of entity, a self-reinforcing financial ecosystem. And this is the truly cool part. The Zeroth protocol turns Crypto Fabric into this 3-token engine. First, its bots go out and earn profit on the Ethereum network. Second, if the market gets all choppy and weird, the system is smart enough to shift capital into a stable digital dollar to protect its gains. And third, this is the secret sauce. It uses those profits to trade its own internal token, creating a closed loop that is constantly making the whole system stronger from the inside out.
And you might be asking, that's great, but how does this connect to my bank account? Well, that's where the mainstream Ethereum network comes back into play. Think of it as the big, secure bridge for the whole system. It provides the liquidity, which is just a fancy term for being the on-ramp and off-ramp to get your cash in and out.
So, it's really important to get this. We're not just talking about a better trading bot or another crypto coin here. This represents a fundamental shift, a whole new paradigm for how we can build intelligent systems.
This idea really transcends finance. The core principles of a hash chain, of a system that embodies its own history, that naturally seeks balance, and that learns from its own existence, that's a blueprint. It's a framework for creating systems that can genuinely evolve, adapt, and get better all on their own.
Which leaves us with one last, kind of mind-blowing question. We started this whole journey with a simple, practical problem, Bitcoin using way too much power, and we ended with a system that can, in its own way, find its own truth. So, if a system can do that, what else can it discover? What's the limit? It's a question for the future for sure, but it's one that's definitely worth thinking about.